show, I could only find 5 paintings.
No, they're all up now.
They're all up now, so it was when I logged in.
Yep. They're okay. All right. Hi, folks. Welcome. My name is Robert Langdon.
Show, I could only.
And let me just.
No, they're all up now.
Turn this volume down.
They're all up now, so it was when I logged in.
Yep. They're
Okay. Where is the volume on this? Okay, great. All right. Welcome, everybody, to Emerge Gallery. My name is Robert Langdon, and we today are doing the virtual tour and artist discussion for a brand new show that just opened up. It's a virtual show, an artsy.net exclusive, and it is called Something Wicked This Way Comes. Artwork celebrating the beautifully macabre. I sort of tend to, my tastes sort of tend to lean towards the dark and bizarre and creepy side. So I've really been looking forward to this show. I've hosted it a number of times at my galleries in Red Bank a handful of years ago. And I wanted to possibly bring it to the gallery here in Socrates, but I wanted to try it out first online to see what kind of response we get. So please share your feedback with us. So today we're going to take a look at all of the art. Again, it is available exclusively online at artsy.net, where the gallery does have a shop, and you can see all of the current shows, previous shows, and some online exclusives as well. Artsy, if you're unfamiliar with Artsy, is a vehicle for brick and mortar galleries to sell their work. They have an international audience, and it really promotes and exposes the artists in the gallery to literally the world. I just sent a little piece over to Belgium this week, a couple of pieces to the UK a few weeks ago. So, word's getting around, and it's really, really pleased to see that. Just wanted to give you a quick little visual of what's going on at the gallery. I have both, events here at the gallery and then also some online as well. So here at the gallery, we have a wonderful window display by a local artist named Faye Wood. These are all sculptures made out of galvanized steel. And then the show up in the gallery is called Piccolo. It is the big show of smaller works. So there's about 115 artists in the show. All of the artwork is 11 by 14 and under. Have a look on Artsy if you want to hear the artists discuss the work. I did a virtual tour last weekend, which is pretty lively, and you can view that. It's archived on the gallery YouTube channel. It's Emerge Gallery NY. Okay, I am wearing Tilly today, Zombie Tilly, in honor of, today is actually the annual Asbury Park Zombie Walk in Asbury, New Jersey. If you're into that kind of thing, it's definitely a place to be. People go all out. I haven't been in a handful of years. I understand it's gotten busier. But if have either go this year, there's still plenty of time left after the show, or go next year, make it a point, because it is definitely something to see, a photographer's delight. Okay, so speaking of photography, let's get into having a look at the work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to present some of the work and bring up some of the artists who are joining me today to talk about their work. So what you see here is this is the artist. This is the gallery Artsy page. So you'll see a whole listing of the shows that we currently have. This is the Piccolo show, and you can sort of scroll through all of the events. So we're going to go to Something Wicked This Way Comes show, and that will bring you to each of the works in the show. So we're going to have a look at each of the works individually. This is a piece by, Christopher Amley. Christopher Amley. Christopher lives in New York. This is an untitled piece. It's acrylic on canvas, and it's 24 by 12. This was created this year. And Christopher says, envisioning phantoms and ghosts and nightmarish dreamscapes. This is Christopher's new to the gallery, and I had a look at some of his other stuff, and it's pretty cool. So that is Christopher Amley. Next, we have a piece by Debbie Auer Breitbart. Debbie has a number of pieces in the show, or has had a number of pieces at the gallery. This one is called Little Death. Debbie lives in Saugerties, by the way. This piece is acrylic on canvas. It's 14 by 11, and it was created this year. Debbie normally works in acrylic and watercolors to portray portraits and human stories. This piece was a fun take on bedtime rituals. It shows a mother zombie telling a little Grim Reaper that he was not getting one more bedtime story. Details on the Little Reaper include bunny slippers, imploring eyes, and a copy of Grimm's fairy tales. This piece is acrylic. It's 11 by 14 on stretched canvas. Next, we have two pieces by Jay Ballesteros. This one is called Foggy Morning in the Hudson Valley. It is a printed digital, and it's mixed media. It's 8 by 10. It was created this year, and it was an early foggy morning in the Hudson Valley. Jay's work focuses on portrait photography, landscape photography, and creating digital mixed media work. Using his skill as a photographer and designer, Jay is looking to explore and tell the stories within us. The second piece by Jay that we have in the show is Rainy Day in Manhattan. I do want to mention that I did bring in a number of landscape pieces that sort of have a bit of a Gothic aesthetic. So you'll see a handful of them. This is a really stunning one by Jay, and this was taken during early or in Lower Manhattan during a rainstorm. Okay. All right, next we have a piece that a creepy show would not be complete without a piece by Lowell Barr. Lowell Barr is an artist living here in Saugerties. Lowell has a little bit of a dark side in some of her art, which I'm always happy to see. But there's a ton of humor, as is the title of this piece. Is called This Thong Is Killing Me. It's oil on canvas, and it is 10 by 10. Okay, next I have two pieces by Harriet Foreman Barrett. Harriet, did I see you come in? No? Okay. Harriet is a wonderful artist living in New Paltz. This piece is called We Shall Rise Again and Again. This is oil on canvas, and it's 30 by 15, created in 2021. And the second piece, also oil, this one is oil on paper. This one is called Masquerade, 16 by 13, and this is 2021 as well. Okay. Ed Berkes. Ed is an artist living in Woodstock. This is a pretty cool a bit of a Gothic scene here, a landscape. As I mentioned, I wanted to bring in some landscapes as well. Ed has a real sense for the dramatic, as you can see in this piece. This piece is called Haunted City. It's mixed media, brand new piece, 2022. Have two pieces. There's a bunch of Ed's work on Artsy as well, so please have a look there. I did a virtual show for him maybe about a year or two ago. A lot of whimsy in Ed's work, some abstract work, some landscapes. Next, I have two pieces by Vian Borchet. Vian is an artist living in Maryland. This piece is called Man of the Hour. It's acrylic on canvas, and it's 36 by 24. It represents an abundant amount of charm. One can't help but be attracted to him in his cool blue and striking looks. He's well dressed, yet the blue tones and hues signify uncertainty of what to come. The abstracted strokes create movement around the portrait, alluding to the idea that the figure is full of thoughts. The second piece by Vian is called The Conversation. And these, I found these pieces not, outwardly creepy or grotesque, but I think and as Vian was saying, the thoughts behind the pieces and possibly what these characters are thinking is where the horror comes in. So the conversation is a painting that depicts the uncomfortable conversation occurring between the model and the artist, where the model recalls sad memories of her father passing at a young age to cancer. The artist captures this pensive interaction and the deep emotions unraveling through the serious conversation through color, tone, and the expressive features of the figure. The model stands tall yet uncertain about her future and what awaits her, and the colors of bright yellow and green and the strong contour of the figurative lines all add to the emotional impact that the painting engulfs. So this is the conversation. Next, I have a piece by Juliana Buckley. Juliana lives in Hawthorne, New York. This is called Domain Part 1. It's oil on wood. And as you can see right in the center, there is a bit of a hinge, so the piece can close. In the last year, my practice, or not mine, Juliana's practice, has been greatly influenced by medieval art, particularly by the physical aspects of small foldable altarpieces and the pictorial symbolic visual style of the art. When making work, she hopes that her pieces have a vague narrative sense to them. In this case, not any story in particular had a feeling of a story, but almost half remembered. While making this piece, she thought of folk tales in an overarching sense, archetypal characters, recurring story structures. As well as that, in her practice, she's always influenced and inspired by the natural world and its most mystical qualities. All right. The next two pieces are pretty fun. This is Larry Caveney. Larry is an artist in Lubbock, Texas. This is probably familiar to a lot of folks who are Hitchcock aficionados. You don't have to be one of his most popular movie, but this is a scene from Psycho. This is the shower scene from Psycho. This is acrylic on canvas, and it's 36 by 30. This is a brand new piece, 2022. And then the second piece from Larry is called Twins, and this was inspired by the Diane Arbus photograph of twins, which is, if you're probably familiar with it, and it's pretty creepy. And I think Larry really brought it out nicely in this piece. Okay, Dennis DeLillo. This is called The Woes of St. Monica. Dennis lives in Highland Lakes, New Jersey. This is India ink, acrylic on canvas. It's 48 by 36, and it was created this year. A peaceful scene of a saintly woman embracing the people and things she nurtures is covered by the struggles and concerns of life as she battles nature and the outside influences on her creations. Dennis is one who has to create. His often large paintings are a combination of abstraction and representation of the transcendent meeting us in the midst of everyday life. He does not shy away from experimenting in other art forms, installation, writing, or even music to express both of love of life and a search of God in the dregs of reality. Okay. I think we need to bring up an artist too, because you're probably getting real tired of hearing me. Chuck Dorr, are you here, Chuck? Did I see you come in? Nope. Oh, that's okay. All right, I've got two pieces by Chuck. These are two pretty fun pieces, although they're pretty, there's a bit of menacing quality that they're hiding. This is called Men's World. It is a mixed media piece, 15 by 15, created this year. Chuck is an artist living in Brooklyn, New York. He's retired, and he's rediscovering his artwork after 45 years and 3 rewarding careers, plus the pandemic years have afforded him the time to create. He works with collages, watercolor, and colored pencils. His artistic vision is to allow his mind to run free, and the hand seems to follow. The subject matter is usually personal, family pictures, swipes from magazines he's collected over the years, and a comfortable medium that he's very comfortable with is collage. So this is A Man's World. And then the second piece, got a little error here. Yes, I do want to send that again. Sorry, folks. Okay, this one's not coming up. Apologies. All right. Let's bring up Robert. Robert, I saw you here, right? Yes, excellent. There you are. You're gonna have to unmute yourself.
Unmuted.
Great. There you go. Welcome, Robert. Good to see you.
Yes, sir. First time we're meeting.
Yes. Welcome to Emerge Gallery. Robert has a piece in the show called Lovely Lady. This is a photograph. And Robert, you were based in New York, is that right? New York City?
I live in New York City.
Great.
In Manhattan.
Tell us a little bit about this piece, Robert.
Oh, let's see. This piece was actually taken locally near you in Rifton, New York,
Okay.
at a friend's house. And he's an architect, and not that anything to do with the photo, but it just was there. And what just caught my eye was just this was a very this. I have several other pictures, but this is the one that was here, and my eye got caught on the glistening of the spider and of the web. And so I liked how it came out as a representational piece fitting into your macabre program here for the Wicked Way. Something wicked comes this way. So we just got an ad here, a commercial for you.
It fits perfectly in the show.
Right. So that's what I thought. It would be nice. And so I enjoy photography in the sense of like seeing what's around me. I never know what's going to pop up. And just happen to have that moment. I don't know what else to say about it.
Sometimes those are usually the best moments, you know, and capture some of the best work. Those unexpected moments.
I mean, I've seen lots of spider web photos of very sharp spiders, but it didn't look mysterious. She looks a little more mysterious here. I guess I like mysterious women.
Okay. Well, there you got the Black Widow.
There you go.
All right. Thank you so much. It's good to meet you, Robert, and I'm really pleased to have the piece on the show. All right, we'll see you soon. Thank you. All right, Shannon, you are up next. Let me find you here. Oh, I see you.
Hello.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you.
And
So-
let me bring up your piece, but please, oh, hold on. Trying to bring you up here. Okay, great. All right. So I have two pieces by Shannon. Shannon's had a few pieces in the gallery before. This one is called Keeper. And then Shannon's second piece is called Flower Child. So yeah, welcome, Shannon. And please tell us about these two pieces.
Hi. So throughout my work, I really enjoy the spontaneous nature of nature, death, and decay. I enjoy using watercolor and ink, the dichotomy of using such a dark black and such high, colors, I believe really mesh well with how I address the taboo. So Keeper is like a rendition of a Jungian archetype of like the boogeyman. I've been drawing him for a few years, not really wanting to draw the monster type, but more of like the feeling. So I really enjoy having nightmarish scenes, with bright colors, kind of be a psychedelic trip in a way.
You definitely captured it.
Thank you. And then, my next piece, Flower Child, I really enjoy surrealism, obviously, and to the point where I disconnect my thought from my hand. So like the surrealist automatization where you just make work without thinking of it, made this piece, and it really just screams to me anxiety. The anxiety of kind of being stationary in this world, being a flower head. I've made other renditions of this and I name them deadheads, because you deadhead, your flower garden or whatnot. And it's more like a fear of being stationary.
I like the little touch of the spider web underneath the one leaf on the stem. These are really wonderful, Shannon. Shannon is, like I said, has had a few pieces at the gallery before. Shannon, you did oh my, Louis, yes. What's the actor's name?
Danny DeVille.
Danny
Yeah.
DeVille. Yes, I'm sorry. That was such a wonderful piece. I love that piece. And I'm really, really pleased to have these. This especially the creature here. I mean, the keeper. This was, this is exactly what I was looking for a show like this.
Me too.
I'm really, really pleased to have you back at the gallery.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Shannon. All right, I have a special guest here joining me at the gallery. Now I've got Julian George here. Do I have your permission to put Julian on camera? All right. So I got Julian George here. So we're gonna bring you up, Julian. Come on over. Why don't you introduce yourself? This is Julian, everybody.
Hello.
How old are you, Julian?
12.
12. All right. So Julian came into the gallery and I forgot who showed me this piece, but somebody showed me this.
Well, I suggested it.
Right. Yes. And Julian brought it in, and I just loved it. I thought it's so much fun. What's the piece called, first of all?
Locked Freedom.
Locked Freedom. Is there is there a story behind it?
Not really, but when the idea is kind of like the two hands are chained together, but like they can move,
Right.
but they're still locked. And also I don't really know how to explain it, but I didn't think about it that much when I was doing it. I kind of thought about it after I made it.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't even need to think about it. Sometimes you just let it come out, so maybe that's what happened. In any case, it's pretty cool. It's graphite, right? It's pen or pencil?
Yeah.
Do you work in any other kind of mediums?
Usually just pencil.
Just pencil? Okay. What about any kind of inspiration? Did this anything inspire you to create this piece?
I was looking at my hands and I started drawing my hands and I just kept building it from there.
You ever do like make a turkey out of your hand?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, this is about 1,000 times better than that. So I'm really glad that you found a real creative way to use your hands, in a piece of art, aside from just painting it, So what's next?
I don't know. I drew this a while ago,
Okay.
but I haven't really done a drawing where I do like a lot of stuff kind of like this in a while.
Okay.
But usually just like small drawings I don't spend a lot of time on.
How about when you're camping?
Oh yeah, I was camping and I did a lot of drawings because
Of like the campsite there or other
no,
things?
it was kind of like just kind of random.
Okay. I was gonna say, because you were drawing the campsite, that's called plein air. Right. All right, Julie. Hey, listen, I'm really glad to have you here. Thanks for joining us. I'm really glad that you came by. I was hoping you would. Yeah, let's see what you got next. We got, this is hopefully the first of many. So keep drawing, keep trying different things. Maybe you can play with clay a little bit. I know somebody that can show them how to use clay. All right, thanks, guys. Oh. Yeah, thank you. All right. Thanks, Julian.
Bye.
I'll see you soon. Love that. That makes my job worth it. Okay, next we have one piece by Denise Giarraputo. Denise is a wonderful artist over in, where is Denise? Denise is in Stone Ridge. This is called Wild Thing. It's a little different. It's an assemblage, a little different than what I know Denise's work to be, but not that different. It just happens to be a little bit of a sculptural piece. Okay, next we have Andrea Giarraputo. Andrea, I know you're here. I saw you, and I love this piece. This is called Lucky Black Cat, and I own a black cat named George, so I can certainly relate to this.
Yeah, thank you, Robert. Can you hear me?
I can, yes. Good to
Okay,
see you,
good. Well,
Andrea.
thank you for including me in the show. I'm really enjoying this presentation,
Oh,
seeing the variety, especially talking to the artists, and Julian's work is just fabulous. This is my attempt at macabre and gruesome, and I guess it's based on fairy stories that I used to read when I was a child, and it's like a witch's room with her familiar, the cat, and her bits of spell ingredients. It's textile, it's hand stitched with some beads, and I regard it as a fabric collage is how I think of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of really wonderful details in this piece. And I think that you really selected the fabric perfectly, especially like the floor. The sort of texture that it creates is fits the work nicely.
Thank
Now,
you.
this is sort of typical of the work that you do. Yes, you work mostly with fabric.
Yes, I do at the moment. I did start out painting and doing printmaking, and I keep itching to go back to it, but I'm consumed by this fabric at the moment because I keep having all these new ideas and I've got to do this next, and they take a long time to do. So, but I will get back to printmaking, I think, silkscreen printing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see some of those. This is wonderful, Andrea. Thank you so much. I'm glad to
Thank you, Robert.
have you back at the gallery. And I'll see you next time you come in.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. All right, Tom Hackett. Hold on. Oh, why am I having an error here? Sorry, Tom.
It's okay.
I'm going to bring you up, but let me. For some reason, my internet is a bit wonky right now. All right. So this piece is called Unicorn Moon. I'm sorry. And this is photography. Tom, welcome. This is a limited edition. It's 10, limited edition of 10, and this is one of them. So Tom, tell us a little bit about this piece. Is this sort of like a diorama, or how'd you do it?
I guess it's a composite photograph. Each element was a separate photograph originally. The first one that caught my eye or caught my interest was the room itself. So I have the room. I have this kind of eerie light, supposedly from the moon. And then I started gathering other elements that I thought would fit the theme. So we have the coffin with the skeleton in it, the lid of the coffin over to the left. Then we have a pile of skulls, which are actually acting as a candle holder. And then the last element that I put in there was the unicorn, kind of as a compensation for all the spookiness and weirdness of the others. It's spooky in itself in that people believe that unicorns don't really exist.
I thought it was actually a pretty cool touch there to include the unicorn, because unicorn's something that you think of that, is usually happy,
Right.
And just to see it in a setting like this, creeping up behind the window, is a little bit almost like Stephen King's Salem Lot or something, with these creepy unicorns outside the window. I thought that was a really, really great touch, and you completely gave something so comforting and joyous a different feel.
Yeah,
I was thinking that a lot.
I was thinking of it the other way, that I was trying to add some feeling of comfort to an eerie scene, but it worked.
I could see that too. I mean, my mind tends to go in the other direction, but I think that's sort of the beauty of art. This piece and just art in general is, people have their own interpretations of it.
Right.
Either way, I think it's a fun piece. It's a really fun piece.
Great, thanks.
Thank you, Don. Good to see you again. All right, next I have two works by Sarah Harris. Sarah is a wonderful abstract artist in Accord. This one is called It Was a Strange Night. Let me double check, make sure that is the one. No, this is It Was a Strange Night. So this is called It Was a Strange Night. It's oil on canvas, 30 by 30. I tried to bring in a few abstract works as well that had a bit of a dark side, a dark story. So this, It Was a Strange Night. As she painted this layered landscape, suddenly the artist saw the outline of two buildings appear, sort of mausoleums. She then continued to paint them. They almost appear ghost-like. Her interest is to blur the perception between visual reality and the imagined. Her paintings move between abstraction and representation, focusing primarily on color. The second piece by Sarah, this one is called, where is it? Something Happened Here. Hi guys, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Oh, good. Here it is. This is Something Happened Here. This is oil on canvas as well. It's 24 by 20, painted in 2022. And the painting was inspired by the many missing Indigenous women whose disappearances have been unsolved. You can see the spirit of a woman reaching out to a possibly blindfolded field and the crows hovering above. So these are two pieces by Sarah Harris. Next, I have two pieces by Linda Heiss. Linda, are you here? I thought you were going to join us today. Maybe not. Okay. Linda is an artist living in New York, New York. What's going on? How are you? This is an archival pigment print. It's 21 by 14, created in 2022. And this is from a series. It's a combination. They resemble plants, but they're composed of sinewy intestinal animal parts. The figures display the organs, tissues, and flaps normally visible only under conditions of bodily violence or scientific medical scrutiny. The makeup of the figures is appalling, but the following warm-colored, glistening surfaces give the images a romantic, decorative quality. They are pretty grotesque, but they're sort of beautiful. So that's the first piece. The second piece. I will. Yep. The second piece is LL0B22. Now, I'm not too sure where the titles come from. I'm assuming they're some kind of maybe scientific cataloging numbers. So those are two pieces by Linda Heiss. All right, next I've got Jeff Helmuth. This is called The Widow. Jeff is an artist here in Socrates. It's acrylic and airbrush. It's 18 by 14, and this was created in 2019. I have two pieces by Barbara Holt. Barbara is an abstract artist over in New Paltz. This one is called, I think this is 6 Killings. This is 6 Killings. 6 Killings, it's mixed media, it's 20 by 16. It's a frightening face conjured up by the chilling headline, 6 Killings. She collaged the headline, painted the wooden board with black gesso, and let loose with white paint on the surface. She actually had found many of these boards, and knowing that helped each to become less precious. My sweeping gestures and experimental approach really have helped this piece to come alive. That's the first piece. And then the second piece by Barbara is called Desert Survivor. This one is acrylic on canvas, 24 by 18. I have a piece by David Holt, also living in New Paltz. This is called, oh, hold on. I'm sorry, this is called Desert Survivor, and this is David's piece. This is acrylic 24 by 18. Next, I have a piece by Jennifer Jackowitz. Jennifer lives here in Saugerties. The title of this is called Rabbit Rabbit. It's a mixed media collage. It's watercolor, acrylic, markers, and paint pens. And it's 14 by 11, 2021. The playful bubble machines, we'd beg for quarters to get a special surprise. As a young girl, I remember the bright and colorful bunny feet seamlessly forgetting they once belonged to a real life bunny. This piece offers that charming little bunny some solace, an opportunity to collect from the damages of his foot collecting foe. I like when, you know, horror brings a little bit of whimsy too. Have two pieces by Roxie Johnson. Roxie, I think you were here. Are you here? Let's see. Here we are. Did you want to talk about your pieces, Roxie? I think you're here. The first piece, just interrupt me if you wanted to step in. This is called Second Sight. It's an etching. It's 12 3/4 by 12 5/8, and it's from 2002. It's a solar plate etching. It's a monochromatic, hand-pulled on Hahnemuhle paper. Edition of 4, and they're all available. Hi, Roxie.
I am here. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I'm going to bring you up, and then you can talk about the two pieces if you. I'd love for you to tell us about these.
I would like to. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Great. Come.
Now I lost you. Okay. Can you hear me? I've lost you.
Oh, here you go. I'm sorry. I muted myself.
Sure. Okay. This piece is entitled Grieving Her. And this was done back in the early 2000s. At a time when I was going through a lot of aging in my parents and loss in the family. And it's what's called a solar plate etching. And this particular one is done in a process called a la poupée, where more than one color is applied to the plate before it goes through the press. And so this is a unique one kind of a print. It's not reproduced in any other fashion. Okay. And my etching was very, I'd have to call it, it's very deeply emotional, relatively monochromatic, rather melancholy in nature, again, because of what I was dealing with. And this one that Robert just put up is called Second Sight, and it's an edition of 4. It reflects my interest in decay and renewal. It's digitally, the image is digitally produced by scanning on objects on the scanner bed and photographing deteriorating walls. And these are actually from Florence, when I was over in Florence. And I superimpose them. And then I print out a black and white transparency from that. And I burn it with ultraviolet light into a photosensitive plate. And this one also was done at that particular period of time. And it deals with isolation and sadness in the loss or anticipated loss of someone who is close to me. And
Roxie, are you?
Only 4. The plate has been destroyed, so it's an edition of 4.
Yeah. Have you sort of carried on this theme? I know a lot of times you do carry a little bit of a dark theme in your work. Have you carried on the doll theme since then?
The doll theme went on for probably close to 14 years.
Okay. Yep.
So I have a series of the doll theme. They happen to be a series of dolls that my mom had actually given me, Madame Alexander dolls. If any of you remember Wendy dolls or the Little Women dolls, that's the series that I worked with.
Wonderful. And where can we see them? Are they on your Instagram account?
Are they what? I'm sorry.
Are they on your social media account?
They are not on my social media at this point in time. I'm going through an online shift and creating a new site. So my old site has gone down,
Okay.
which is where some of them were, but they'll be coming up in the near future. So if you do go into the old site, it will direct you where to go in the future.
Great. All right, wonderful. Well, I'm really, really pleased to have these. I'm glad when you came in to show them to me. They're really, I mean, they're beautifully grotesque.
Well, and I want to thank you for this opportunity, because I don't always, I don't get a lot of opportunities to show these.
Yeah.
And so I really appreciate this, Robert.
Oh, I'm always look forward to having your work here at the gallery. Thank you so much, Roxie. It was good to see you. Thank you. Okay. All right, I have a photograph by Andy Keynes. This is called Subject of Decay. It's a photograph, 16 by 20. Andy lives in Nassau, New York. It's a new piece, 20 by 20, 2022. The work is an attempt to capture the impermanence of being, and the beauty of things decaying. This photograph was an exploration of new technical processes. He was inspired by friends and their constant appreciation of the macabre and the darkness around us. Next, I have another landscape, a beautiful landscape that also has a bit of a very, very moody feel to it. This is by David Kleiner. David lives in Stone Ridge. It's called Winter Forest. It's an oil piece, 16 by 20. There are rare days in the winter when the forests fill with mist and it is changed completely into something strange. The nature of beauty and the pleasure of life are capricious and mysterious. The more conscious you become of the frailty and dreamlike quality of all things, the more clearly you will become conscious of the eternity of your own inner being. David is an artist and architect who, as I said, lives in Stone Ridge. Next piece is by, two pieces, is by Lansy Lent. This is first called Red Dream. Lansy, you were here, but I think you had to leave. Are you here? Let's see. No, okay. This is a piece called Red Dream. It is oil and cold wax on a cradle panel. It's 40 by 32. And it was created in 2018. Oh, I'm sorry. This is, I'm a little mixed up. This is red. Okay, Red Dream is 12 by 12. This piece reflects our fragile humanity, fears of death, and the last thoughts. The Bardo and the next one that I'm going to show you are the visual equivalents of automatic writing. There were no preconceptions, sketches, or abiding concepts in the creation of these works, just free flow exploration in oil paint. The artist had death on her mind when these paintings emerged, as she was caring for a cancer patient at the time, and this work was a release from the stress of that. And you know, I mean, art is always therapeutic, whether it be painting or writing. I want Lauren Eddy. I'm sorry I passed you up and I don't know what happened. Let me go back and find your piece. I'm so sorry. Oh. Hold on, guys. Apologies for this. All right. You won't be in good sports. Thank you. Here you go. You're on the first page here. Okay. All right, Lauren. So let me bring you up and talk to us. Please, again, my apologies for skipping over you, but then I'm like, wait a minute, we've passed the F's or the E's. And you are right here. Now, yeah, Lauren, tell us about this, because it's not, there's a bit of a story to this, and it's not, I mean, the piece itself is not overly grotesque, but please tell us where that comes in. You are on mute. You have to unmute yourself. Okay, no, great. Well, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
I was inspired. I mean, I hate to say inspired, but by the Russian-Ukraine conflict and the way that the media was so obsessed with it when it first started happening. and how the world is just consumed with violence and we eat it up like cereal. So I really just wanted to make most of the painting very mundane, very boring, and just draw your eye into the bullets and the blood that are just filling up the world, and display it in a very almost normal way. Yeah, that was, I wanted it to look less scary. My kids always complain that my work scares them sometimes, so I wanted it to look very normal.
It does, but I think that, you know, once you really start looking into and looking behind it, and the, you know, the purpose behind it, it becomes clear that it is just the horrors of reality. Yeah, it's really, really wonderful. I love the bowl is the world, and it's so true how we just eat all this up like it's cereal, like it's nothing. Yeah. So your work is usually a lot more dark than this.
Yes, I do. I'm actually currently a BFA student, and my thesis is centered around the atrocities in the US right now. And I do mostly political work, and it's usually dark, and it's far more darker than this. But again, my kids complain that my work scares them, so I wanted to do something a little less scary.
Well, I'm glad to have your less scary piece in the scary show here at the gallery. And where can we see some of your other works that you know, I love art with a message. So where can we see some more of these?
I'm working on getting being more active on Instagram right now. It is a little bit busy with being an active student and having young kids, but we're working on getting Instagram fully running and operating more to show the works that I have going on.
Great, wonderful. Well, congratulations and good luck. And please keep in touch. We'd love to see more.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Lauren. And again, apologies for, I don't know what happened.
No worries.
Okay, great. All right, I have Richard Levy. Richard is a artist in Malden, Malden on the Hudson, which is a little hamlet here in Saugerties. This is called Three Skulls. It's charcoal pencil on paper, 13 by 10 from last year, 2021. It was done as an online drawing class homework assignment, which is not practicing sorcery. Linda Lynton, let's bring you up. Good to see you, Linda.
Yes, hi there, good to see you.
Linda's got 3 pieces from a Moon series, which were these created for one of my poetry shows?
Yes, it was.
Okay, that's what I thought. Great.
And it kind of took off from there, because I was wondering, how on earth do you paint the moon? You've got to make it look identifiable as the moon. And it's just looking at also the different phases of the moon, and the colors, because when the moon rises, it is a much darker color. And then, you know, as it goes through the sky, when it reaches the zenith, then you get this silver look. So I was interested in that. But how it relates to this show, it struck me, when you're dealing with the moon, you're also dealing with night. And I used, this is oil on linen, and I used a very dark violet paint called Egyptian Violet, because I felt it shows the darkness, that the darkness of the night is not black, that there's a color to it. And it makes me understand how it makes us afraid. How, because the night is when fear comes. We think of death, we think of blackness, we think of night. And it was interesting that from some poetry, which actually was quite benign, quite lovely, this awareness of the darkness, and darkness in a moral and emotional sense comes up, simply because it's the night. And that's where the ghosts are. But that's why, you know, that's why I submitted them for this show, even though I know you're already familiar with them from that poetry show, which was about 3 years ago now, wasn't it? Yeah. Anyway, that's
I think the poet was Ray Steiner, maybe, that you created these for.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
I do an art and poetry show every year in April, where artwork inspires poetry and vice versa. And this was part of that show. Oh, but they fit perfectly in this show as well. You know, I mean, a creepy show can't be a creepy show without a creepy moon or a couple. Linda's a wonderful landscape artist. I have a series of her work online called about Riverkill, Saltkill, the Saltkill River. And she took a year journey through the Saltkill River, doing some plein air and other paintings, different scenarios. So please have a look on your. Linda, always a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. Always a pleasure. Yeah.
All right. We'll see you soon. All right. Okay. Nope, you don't want to see that. Okay, so forewarning, you're going to see my big face as I share this with you. Let me do this. Sorry, guys. There's so many technical things involved with all of this Zoom stuff.
Robert?
Here we go. Yes.
This is Chuck Dorr. I came in late.
Yes, Chuck.
I could not upgrade my computer and I'm late and I'm wondering if I get a moment to speak. It would be wonderful.
Sure, of course. Let me bring up your work right now.
Total computer idiot. I'm sorry.
Hold on one sec.
Thank you.
All right. You.
Sorry, all.
You're still seeing the moon, right? Okay. All right. So Chuck has two collage pieces. One is called A Man's World, and the other is called Missing Nothing. So Chuck, tell us about Men's World.
All right, Men's World. Again, it's the conflict that Linda was talking about. This came right after Roe versus Wade and the decisions that were made, and that men are making these decisions. I mean, it's just crazy what we think women should be responsible for, or be the way they dress, the way what they do with their bodies. It's just, it really upset me. And I felt that it was wicked enough to delve into and just feel that the targets are the women. And I just get very upset and how they make their choices. And we think we know what's best, and such a power game. Then that's what this piece is.
Yeah, it's pretty effective. I mean, just the menacing look on that, you know, the jester's face is really effective.
It actually kind of came up he wasn't a jester. The piece was started upside down, if you could believe. Those were the legs on his hat. It just switched as the target became the woman, and the power that men have is wicked. That's right.
Now what about the missing, the second one? It's called Missing Nothing.
Well, that's really not missing anything. That's about as evil as they go here. It started with an evil clown, and it turned into, of course, how clowns scare children. It also then became that nose became this Cruella de Vil kind of awful woman who just would entrap children. It just became one evil after another. And the more I thought about it, the wickedness, and the winter always reminded me of just coldness and being thrown out, and the children out in the cold, the neglect of children. It wasn't supposed to be so evil that it's pedophilia. It's just so children are trapped in this world. And again, it's just what came out.
Yeah, it's a nice balance of you know, I mean, it's got like a real fairy tale, a lot of fairy tale elements to it, and it's a nice balance of how, you know, how there is always evil in the wood, even behind it, in the world, even behind the good.
Thank you.
So yeah, I'm glad you joined us, Chuck.
I'm glad to be a part. I just
Yeah, absolutely. All right, good to see you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And again, here's my, okay. Let's bring up the next group here that we got. I'm going to share that with you. Okay, well, I have a piece by Kate Masters. As I mentioned, I was bringing in a couple landscape pieces. This piece by Kate is called Grim Landscape. Kate lives in Socrates. This is oil on paper. The next piece is by Ellen Menzies. Ellen is a wonderful artist here in Socrates as well. This is called Death of the Red Wing. It's acrylic on canvas, and it's 20 by 24. I found a dead red-winged bird, blackbird, and was struck by its beauty and dignity, even in death. I took the body home and painted it for days, keeping it in the freezer between sessions. The painting, Death of the Red Wing, is about its spirit and transcending death. That's dedication. Ernie Martuzan. Ernie has a whole series of masks that he had taken in Mexico, I believe, photographs. This is called Red Devil. It's 8 by 10. It's a ceremonial. This is from a collection of ceremonial and celebration masks from the south of Mexico. They were photographed on the street in Tula Gutierrez, and I'm probably butchering that. I often look for interesting geometry and architecture, and sometimes I'm lucky to find it. And when you find a spectrum, a rainbow of color in the most unlikely of places, this is like finding the mother lode. Okay, that's Ernie Martuzan, and then I've got two pieces by Dak Onimus, I believe is how you pronounce it, Dak. If I'm mispronouncing it, my apologies. This first piece is called Volitional Embalming, and then the second piece. No, this is the embalming, volitional embalming, I'm sorry. So this piece is oil on board. It's 48 by 24. It's an oil painting using old masters techniques to achieve modern results and contemporary ideas in the sci-fi, fantasy, and horror genre. Dak is a 44-year-old Socratesian. He's native, living and working in Socrates, using oil paint to express dark art and nightmares. So this is the first, and this is the second piece, which is called Allegatus Morte. And this one is also oil on board, 42 by 26. I have two pieces by Harold Olajars. Harold is an artist living in Tenafly, New Jersey. This is called Molly Skulls 1. And then I have Molly Skulls 2 is the second piece. These are dye sublimation prints on aluminum, 16 by 16, both created in 2020. This is, so he uses repetition and patterns. Certain elements in a person's visual field may fascinate them and absorb their attention. When I look at my photographs, I find the elements of the image that I am drawn to that inspired me to take the photo. Then I work with, manipulate, and repeat those elements to create an image that emphasizes the memorable. There is a puzzle-like aspect to his images. These are obviously skulls. There's a number of other pieces of Harold's on the website, on Artsy as well, with some floral, some food elements, all in the circular patterns. Okay, I have a piece by Jacqueline Oster. Oh, Jackie, where are you? Jacqueline lives in West Hurley. This is called Nominal Head. It's watercolor and cut paper. It's a small piece, 6.5 by 4.5. It depicts replaceable heads of a vintage doll with a cut paper backdrop of an old doll advertisement. No object lasts intact forever, and most objects need all of their pieces to function properly. A headless doll, unsettling to some since it has a human likeness, and most of the time, we don't like to lose our head. She works in watercolor because she finds it challenging. At times, it seems to have a mind of its own, leading her in a different creative direction. This is by Jacqueline Oster. Have two pieces by Suzanne Parker, who did a beautiful homage to the classic Universal monsters. This is called Arranged Marriage. It's mixed media on reclaimed wood, and there are two 10x8 panels. The bride's hair is coated wire, and the groom's hair is dryer lint. And I actually just watched this movie the other day, The Bride of Frankenstein. It's a classic. And another one that Suzanne had done is pay a little homage to The Mummy. This is called Trans Mummy. It's mixed media on reclaimed wood, 17x9, and it's inspired by Boris Karloff's The Mummy. Have a photograph by Susan Phillips. Susan is a photographer living, splitting her time between the city and the Hudson Valley, I think Mount Tremper. This is called Bad Sisters. It's from an ongoing series of hers called Store Reflections, and it's a digital photograph. Tad, are you here?
Yes.
Great. Love this piece, Tad. This is called Federal Express. Let me bring, it comes up. Here we go. Okay, Tad, let me find you here. We'll bring you up.
Right.
Here we go. Great. Welcome, Tad.
Okay.
Yeah, tell us about this. It's a little older piece, right? It's in.
This is a very early piece.
Okay.
When I just started doing digital painting. Right now, I work on my iPad. This was done on my laptop with the Microsoft Paint program. And before I started doing this work, I worked in pen and ink, black and white. And this was done as an illustration for a chapbook, a poem by a wonderful West Coast poet, Rachel Loden. And the poem is about a gruesome murder. And this was the death as a FedEx driver fit in with part of the poem. And I had only ever worked in black and white. I mean, this I said, well, this is about a gruesome murder. I got to put some blood in. So this is the first thing I ever did using color. Just the red of the dripping FedEx package.
Nice. And it's early on. I mean, this was early on digital, no?
Yes.
Yeah. Wonderful. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Tad. You could see some of Tad's current digital work up on Artsy as well. He has a really wonderful piece in the current show of small works called Still Life with M&Ms. Really pleased to have this here, Tad. Would love to see it.
I'm so pleased to be part of this wonderful show.
Oh, thank you. I'm hoping to bring it to the gallery next year.
Great.
All right. Good to see you. Thank you.
You too.
I have two pieces by Stephen Schatz. They're both photographs. Stephen is a fairly new to exhibiting his work. I don't think he's fairly new to photography, but new to putting it out there. Stephen does some really wonderful close-ups of flowers. This first piece is called Incubating, and then the second piece is called Spider Flower. This Incubating is a peony close-up. And then the spider flower is a mystery flower, but it does look like a spider. And Stephen has two really wonderful pieces in the current show as well of smaller works. Peter, are you here? Peter Sheehan. I think I saw Peter before. Let's see. This is another abstract piece that I brought up. There's a handful of abstract works that I have brought into the show that, abstract, you can really see really anything into it. You take your experience into it and, you inform what you see. But this I felt had a bit of a menacing quality to it. Peter was born in Massachusetts and went to SUNY New Paltz, and he remains in the Hudson Valley working in painting. Have two small pieces by Rita Sherry. Rita has a wicked sense of humor with her work. This one is called The Visitor. It's ceramic from 2020. It's a small one, 7x4. Often Rita's sculptures emerge from the clay rather than from a specific plant. This is one of those. Reminds me a little bit of E.T. Also by Sherry is a really wonderful monotype. This is called Solace. This is from 2022. It's from a series of monotypes using movable stencils to create variations on the idea. I have a number of Rita's work on Artsy as well from shows of the past, including the current show. Cindy Sue Morano has a wicked sense of humor. This one is called I Can't Tell My Daughters the Things I Am Afraid of. It's a monoprint with a little bit of mixed media. It's 14x11. On occasion, my art becomes therapeutic, a place to explore my fears and give them voice while maintaining silence. Red almost always makes an appearance, as does scraping and slashing. Sometimes the silence extends even to the work with quiet precision in placement and balance. This piece explores a darker place in her mind that few ever get to see. The second piece is where her humor really shows. Not so much in the first. First one was pretty dark. But this one, it's a bit crazy. This is called Mama. Mama is acrylic on canvas. It's 40x28. This is a new piece, 20x22. I don't know if you all watched Romper Room, but I don't know if I'd want her this one calling my name. On occasion, you know, as I was saying, her work becomes therapeutic, and maybe she was working out something with this, but I find this, you know, beautifully creepy and just, you know, I love it. Love my humor and horror together. So this is Cindy Sue Morano. As I said, Cindy has a really wicked sense of humor. You can see some more of her works too on Artsy. Next, I have a piece by Catherine Thurston. Catherine is an artist in New York, I believe.
New Jersey, New York.
Oh, you are. Okay, great. You are here, Catherine. Great. Oh, wonderful. Let me bring you up. Welcome. And I got to share the screen again. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay, welcome. And now, when I first saw this, I thought it was a photograph, but it's not. So please tell us about this.
Well, this piece was inspired based off of, you know, traditional landscapes and my job working at a ranch. So I am a horse trainer, and I'm always around these majestic animals, whether they're foxes, deer, and, you know, sometimes, well, more than often, you come across this type of scenery. And my choice for painting roadkill was to capture the irony of the macabre and the beautiful landscape. I wanted it to be an emotional and a logical experience for the viewer, and the choice is for the medium is oil on canvas, and it was to practice, you know, traditional landscape and the form of painting. And it's also for the spectator to just come into terms with their own understanding of the macabre. And sometimes we all have our own idea of it and our own feelings towards it, and I enjoy that aspect of it. So.
This is something that, I mean, we all see all the time, unfortunately. You know, I mean, I'm from New Jersey, and I see it. All you got to do is drive down Route 17 and you see it all over the place. Now I'm in the Hudson Valley, and you don't see it as much just because there's a little bit of space. But I got to say, I mean, I just thought this was just so interesting, because it's a beautiful landscape. You've done it really well, but just to see that in there is something that, as I said, we all see but turn our heads from a lot of times when we drive by, and this is forcing us to look at what's there. Reality.
I try to be subtle about it because I didn't want it to be too grotesque.
It's not.
I didn't want to lose sight of what I was trying to have the spectator or the viewer, feel. but it's definitely something to think about. I got, I had so many people ask me why I did this, but at the same time, I asked them, how do they feel looking at this? And I had sympathetic feelings, empathetic feelings, and I love getting all those different type of answers just from one piece. So
yeah, I think that that's really you're forcing people to really look at a reality here, and people don't want to do that. So bravo to you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Catherine. I have a piece by Ivy Tran. You can see some crows in here. This is called Conspiracy. I wonder if it's a murder conspiracy. Ivy is an artist living here in Saugerties. It's a small piece, 10 by 10. While crows are often viewed as bad omens associated with death and negativity, they are immensely smart and loyal. I wanted each crow to reflect a distinct personality and look and used mixed blacks to define in each one. In looking at the painting from afar, you may see it only as shades of black shapes separated by what I have come to think of as signature white lines, just as you may see a murder of crows as an ominous or pestilent presence. However, when looking closer, you can see the intelligence and wisdom in their eyes, and even humor and happiness. I titled this Conspiracy, as that is the name for a flock of ravens. I didn't know that, which are often confused with crows, just as crows are often confused with being solely a negative presence. This work bridges the two spheres of my artistic endeavors: more realistic paintings for commissioned work and semi-abstract paintings that utilize white line work to differentiate forms. I wanted to use black to create the crows in this painting, but I also knew that I wanted to convey the complexities of this misunderstood animal. I mixed red, green, black, a violet-based black, and a true black to create a range of values that reflected the depths of these birds. No masking fluid was used to create the white spacing, so this work truly harnessed a mindful meditative practice. And this is by Ivy Tran here in Saugerties. We got Carl Voltling now. Carl lives up in Schenectady. This is another abstract piece that I brought in that has a little bit of a menacing quality to it. You can sort of look at it and pull what you'd like from it. He calls this blue supine. It's oil on pressed wood, and it's 30 by 24. I have two pieces by Claudia Warwick. Claudia is a wonderful paper maker. This is from a series, a kimono series. This is the future kimono. There's a past, a present, and a future kimono. Really beautiful handmade paper. I had the past, which was a stunning white kimono hanging in the window during the winter, probably about 2 years ago. And I'm really happy to have the second one here. Let me see if here's a view of the back. And this is all handmade paper. Well, let me see what Claudia says about that. So the future kimono symbolizes my own mortality and the premise of being in that state of decay. While on a trip to Colorado, I photographed some decaying trees. This breakdown of nature, which is in the natural process of every living thing. The second piece is a piece called Grim Repet. This is a handmade paper piece as well, and this is a hanging piece. It's not framed. It's a collograph that measures 7 by 14. It was created during a time when many of her older relatives were passing. She found comfort in the studio doing whatever came to mind, keeping herself occupied while grieving. You can see where her head was at this when creating the Grim Repet. Have two pieces by J.D. Weiss. J.D. is a wonderful photographer in Woodstock. J.D. still uses 2 1/4 format camera. This is called Up on the Roof. It's 20 by 20, and it's from 2022. The second piece is called Wrapped Up. It's traditional 35 millimeter darkroom print. And this is, it is all wrapped up. I'm sorry I said that. And it's 8 by 12. This is an older piece of JD's. You can see some more of JD's work on the website on artsy.net. Have two pieces by Stephen Whistler. This is called Right Brain and Left Brain. Stephen, are you here? Did I see you come in? No? Okay. This is Right Brain and Left Brain. It's silver leaf, charred wood, and hardware, 2021. How are you? Although the original intention of these pieces wasn't to make something creepy or macabre, the effect is certainly macabre. The burnt wood also lends a dystopian feel to the work. These works from the Milagros series are all in carrying cases that are very versatile. They can be hung directly on the wall in the case from the D ring, or the case can be displayed on a table or pedestal, either open flat on the table or standing up. Alternately, the works can be removed from the cases and displayed directly on the wall. So this is the first piece of the right brain, and then this is right skull and left skull. And then finally, I have two pieces by Jeff Wigman. Jeff, are you here? I'm sorry, I keep asking people. No, okay. Jeff is a new artist. This is a lot of fun. I like this piece a lot. This is called Bad Dog. It's oil on panel. It's 12 by 14, created in 2020. In the early months of the pandemic, COVID came across as a big sloppy dog that jumps and licks before anyone can even react. Here, a crowned embodiment digs into a river town. Painted with a delicate calligraphic style with fluid paint. Thanks for coming in. The second piece that we have is called Bad Time to Be a Cat. This is wickedly funny, this one here. I'm a cat. I'm more cat than dog. So for me, this is a little upsetting too, but very funny. All right. So as I said, this is called Bad Time to Be a Cat. Jeff lives in Troy, by the way. This is oil on paper, 13 by 13. It's a funny little scene expressing a novel form of paranoia, painted in an efficient cursory style with some humorous details and some fancy brushwork. Okay, so that is that's the Something Wicked This Way Comes show. As I said, please, you know, there's 70 pieces, I think, in the show. So please spend a little time with them. They're on artsy.net. And again, there you can find some other shows as well, including the Piccolo show that we have going on. Please let me know your thoughts about this show, because as I was saying, a lot of times I use some of these online exclusives of test cases to try out some shows here at the gallery. So please share your feedback with on the work, what you thought of the show, what you think of the theme. So it all, as I said, it's all, art that's a little bit creepy, a little bit macabre, but all beautiful in some way. So really glad to do another one of these. I feel like I just did one, which was last weekend, so I did. But it's all great. It's great to see everybody again, and great to really meet some new faces and to see some new work. So I'm really, really pleased to have such a real group of talented artists, creating some of my favorite style, which sort of tends to lean towards the dark. Just come into my house and you can see my own collection has a lot of these kind of stuff. Next show, let's see. The next show is going to be, Best in Show. So there's still a call out, I think, for about another week. And it's Best in Show that will open towards the end of November and go through the rest of the year. I'm asking artists to pick their one favorite piece that they created in 2022. And that one's going to be at the gallery. And then there'll be a virtual show coming up.
I'll show you what I had.
So thank you everyone for joining me. Come on by and check out, what we have up on the walls. We're open on the weekends, Artsy's open 24 hours a day, and there's lots and lots of art there. So yep, come on by everybody. Again, thank you. And we will we'll do this again. So see you then. Pleasant dreams.